Welcome back, jerks. Well, guess what we're going to do today? It involves sandpaper, a sanding block, and Bondo. Now I don't know if I'm actually going to get to the Bondo stage of this yet, but here I've got my hood, and we are going to today work on prep to get this hood ready for the Bondo. And let me turn this around a little bit, get me in a little bit of a better position. One of the problems that we've got here is that because of the bolts that we're holding on that wing, it kind of pimpled up these hole areas. So I'm going to be tapping them down and creating like a divot in there for the Bondo to cover and work on some sort of a flat area. So that's going to be an interesting thing. I've never done anything like that before, but what we're going to do first is we're going to deal with this little rust area and kind of just smooth down the paint so that we can work on it. Now I'm not in the least bit afraid of screwing this up because it's already screwed up. There's not a whole lot I can do that's going to make this tons worse. Yeah, so this is the trunk lid, and if I mess it up I can redo it, and I'll just keep redoing it until I'm happy with it. As it goes, we'll see how it goes. I've never done anything like this before. I have no idea what I'm doing. Good for me. Alright, so we are just gonna kind of grind these areas down and we'll see how horrible it is. So let me give you a little bit of a zoom in here. Alright, and let's see what we can do here. So yeah, I can start seeing a little bit of the actual surface rust here. Still got a little bit of pitting in there, which is the actual rusting of the material. Now, I thought they made these out of aluminum, but I guess I'm wrong. Looking pretty good. I'm going to start using this little grinding wheel thing here. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I could be completely screwing everything up. Okay, that's kind of what I wanted to do, exactly what I wanted to do, because now you're not seeing that pitted area anymore. I'll go over it with this again. This other part looks like it's a little rusty too, so I'm just going to start with this thing since this is very efficient looking. Yeah, look at that, tear right through it. Alright, step two. Step two, I'm going to knock those down a little bit. And I'm not sure how to do that. I can't believe that worked. Okay. That's unbelievable. I actually had a stupid idea and it worked. So we're looking at this raised area right here. And I know it's not raised very much, but to the touch it's definitely raised. So we're going to take our little tool that we sort of created, give it a little whack all the way around. It's getting there. if you'll be able to tell, but it is flat now. Well, it looks like we've got our flattened surface now, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to need to do something to the back of this so that when I put the Bondo on here, it doesn't come through. Oh wow, I can definitely tell now that this is raised ever so slightly. So that's good. That's good news. Okay, so I'm going to find some way to tape that, and then maybe I'll mix up some Bondo tonight. We'll see if this is going to work or not. There we go. This is going to go right in here. Go in there. Get in there. So now we have a good spot to lay our Bondo in. And yeah, why don't we go ahead and do it? I have no idea what I'm doing, so I mean, why not? Okay, so that means I have to read instructions. Instead of reading the instructions, I'm gonna go online, maybe watch, there's the hardener. I'm gonna watch a couple of YouTube videos because that's what I've been doing so far, and it's been working out pretty well. Well, here we go. We're gonna try the Bondo thing, and I've watched my YouTube, and therefore I'm an expert. So here's what you do. You're going to use a little bit of Bondo. I'm going to use a little bit of cream hardener. Not much. To open this. Oh gosh, that's all separated. Alright, so I need to take... ooh, it stinks too. So I need to get a stirrer thing. Kind of a rip. This isn't full. I think that's okay though. I'm not going to use much at all. Now, I should be using a respirator. I know I should. I can tell just by the smell of this stuff that that's not good for me. I should also be in a more ventilated area, which I'm not. First time Bondoing anything. That is a lot. This is supposed to be mixed up real good. This is me mixing it. And as I read, you're not supposed to use too much of this. A little bit. Like that. And then you're supposed to press it into it. Alright, I can already feel it getting a little harder, so I'm going to work kind of quickly with this. I'm just going to basically stick it on there and then smooth it over. Stick it on, smooth it over. And make sure it gets in that hole, because I don't want it to expand or do anything weird. You can see the little nipple forming. Well, I'm just gonna kind of deal with it then. Okay, and then they said you gotta clean this right away. If I ever want to use it again. Ooh, look at that, hard. They're coming to get me. Oh, they really are coming to get me. I didn't do it. Alright, so we're going to let this sit. I'll come back much later after I'm absolutely sure it's all good and done, and then I'll start sanding it down. See if we can't get this smooth. Hey there. So it's the next day, and this is good and hard, and I'm going to be doing sanding today to kind of smooth this out, and if it goes well in the first try, then I'll just have to finish this up and then prep it for paint. Yeah, so let's get started. I actually am going to use the block now because this is really, really hard. And yeah, it's not a hand sanding sort of situation. All right, I'm back from sanding, rough sanding, and I found out something very interesting. And what you can see here is, hopefully that's in focus. What you can see here is you can still see where I come down to the bare metal. Those are high spots that I didn't knock down as much as I had hoped I'd had with my silly little hammer and wrench solution. Had I gone a little deeper with that, then the Bondo, which is pretty much very flat and flush with the rest of the hood right there, that would have, this metal wouldn't have shown because it would be filled in by the Bondo. So it's not bad. I can feel tiny little raised areas, and the same thing for the other side. I can feel tiny little raised areas, however, it does feel pretty good. Oh man, the focus is bad. So you can see here the high spots, and that's what you get for that for using the sanding block, because when using a sanding block, it's basically a flat surface. And so you can see that I didn't tap them down as much as I thought I had, but I think it's going to be okay because it feels pretty good. And we're going to move on to fine sanding and see if we can't get this to look and feel like it should.